What's up, Bills Mafia? You already know what it is. This is Buffalo Beat News. And today we've got two massive stories out of Orchard Park that you absolutely need to hear. The Buffalo Bills just added a veteran linebacker with serious pedigree, Shaq Thompson, and we're breaking down what it means for this defense. Plus, GM Beane is getting national recognition for his offseason moves that are keeping this roster strong without breaking the bank. But before we jump in, you know the drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you love the Bills as much as we do, and drop a comment at the end to let us know your thoughts on today's news. It helps more fans like you find us, and it keeps this amazing community growing. Let's get into it. The Bills continue to show they're not just playing for today, they're playing smart, physical, and with one eye always on experience. The front office made it official on Tuesday. Linebacker Shaq Thompson has signed a one-year deal to join Buffalo. Now, if that name sounds familiar, there's a reason. Shaq Thompson spent 10 seasons with the Carolina Panthers. And here's the connection. That's where Sean McDermott was defensive coordinator when Thompson entered the league in 2015. Talk about full dash circle. It's not just McDermott. Linebackers coach Al Holcomb worked with Thompson back in Carolina, and so did GM Beane, who was part of that front office. So this isn't some random flyer. This is a move with real chemistry, trust, and history behind it. When asked about it, Shaq said, "Greater than I was a young pup back in the day, now 11 years, seasoned vet. You never thought it would happen to yourself, but everything is a blessing." That's a guy who knows this moment matters. And after the injury-shortened seasons, including a broken ankle and a torn Achilles, Thompson is hungry for a comeback. He didn't practice Tuesday, but said he fully expects to be ready for training camp. Circle July 23rd on your calendar. Bills fans, that's when we'll see how real this comeback is. Let's keep this in perspective. Shaq Thompson is not here to replace Matt Milano or Terrell Bernard. This is a team that primarily runs a two-linebacker system, and both those guys are locked in as starters. But let's not ignore the value of depth, especially veteran depth, in a system as complex and physical as McDermott's at 31 years old. Thompson brings 123 career games, multiple 100-plus tackle seasons, leadership from day one, knows the scheme. He knows the expectations, and he's not here to go out on an injury. In his words, "Greater than one thing about me, I would never end my career on an injury." That's the type of mindset this locker room thrives on. And while we're talking smart moves, let's give some serious love to GM Beane, who's getting national attention this week. NFL Media's Tom Blair just published a breakdown of the best team money can buy under the 2025 salary cap. And guess what? 3 Bills made the cut, and not just because they're good players. They made it because Beane locked them up at incredible value. Let's take a look. Contract for years. $69 million rank, 18th highest paid CB in the league stats, 5th best EPA when targeted among CBS. With 500 coverage snaps, Benford was listed as a starter on Blair's roster, right next to Defensive Player of the Year Patrick Surtain. That's elite company. And for that price, that's a steal. Contract for years. $53 million rank, 26th among Wers by average annual value 2020 for stats, 76 receptions, 821 yards. Fort Shakir led the team in targets and receptions in 2024. He's not flashy, but he's money on third downs and in the red zone. The kind of guy who thrives in Joe Brady's everybody eats offense. He's not your WR1, but he might be your most reliable WR, and he's getting paid like a WR3. That's championship caliber roster building. Contract for years, $80 million rank, 12th among edge rushers by AAV 2024 stats, 53 tackles, 8 sacks, 35 pressures for. So was slotted behind Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons. No shame there, but his contract is fair value for a player who sets the edge and gets to the KB. Beane bet on his own guys. And the way these deals are structured, they leave enough space to keep this team loaded. Even when other stars hit free agency. Now, of course, there are challenges ahead. The Bills will need to make decisions next year on James Cook, Connor McGovern, Matt Milano, David Edwards. But if this offseason is any indication, Beane is more than capable of finding the sweet spot between player value and cap strategy. And honestly, with veterans like Shaq Thompson willing to come in on a prove-it deal, this roster feels deeper than it has in a long time. If there's one thing we know about Sean McDermott's defenses, it's that the safety position is sacred. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer were staples for years, and now As the Bills transition into a new era on the back end, the focus turns to a new generation of safeties ready to make their mark. In 2024, the Bills spent a second-round pick, 60 overall, on Cole Bishop, a physical, rangy safety out of Utah. The plan was clear. This kid was drafted to start and eventually become a long-term leader in the secondary, but things didn't go exactly according to plan last year. During preseason, Bishop suffered an untimely injury that slowed his development and cost him precious reps in camp. And stepping up in that moment was none other than Damar Hamlin, yes, the same Hamlin who captured national attention for his miraculous return to the field. Hamlin held his own and ended up starting most of the 2024 season. Now, to be fair, Hamlin wasn't an all-pro, but he was solid, reliable, and exactly what you need when the spotlight gets bright. After testing the market this offseason, he returned to Buffalo on a modest one-year deal, signaling that the team values his presence, but also understands the long-term plan. Fast forward to now, it's 2025, and training camp at St. John Fisher University kicks off on July 23rd. And with Bishop finally healthy, this thing is shaping up to be an old-school, no-nonsense competition for that starting free safety job. General Manager Brandon Beane summed it up best: "I think Bishop has made some plays out there. He just needs as many reps as he can. So hopefully, once we get to St. John Fisher, no setbacks and have a full camp." That says a lot. Beane and McDermott want Bishop to take control, but they're not just going to hand it to him. He's going to have to earn it, rep by rep, day by day. Let's take a closer look at the full safety room and what's at stake. 2020 for starter, Damar Hamlin. 2025 candidates, Cole Bishop, Damar Hamlin. Derek Forrest projected winner, Cole Bishop. You heard that right. Bishop is projected to win the job, assuming he stays healthy and executes consistently during camp. But don't sleep on the competition. The Hamlin factor. Damar Hamlin may not be a superstar, but he's smart, experienced, and respected by coaches and teammates. And most importantly, he's proven. He started most of last season. And when Bishop returned from injury, McDermott opted to go back to Hamlin for the playoff game. That tells you how much trust he's earned. So while Bishop might have the higher ceiling, Hamlin is the safety net, the steady hand ready to go if Bishop stumbles. Let's not forget about Derek Forrest, who was signed in free agency this offseason. Forrest started for Washington back in 2022 and showed flashes of being a real impact player. Injuries have slowed him since, but he's very much in the mix. The big question, will Forrest even make the 53-man roster? The Bills only kept 3 true safeties last year, and with versatile hybrid DB Cam Lewis in the mix, it's possible they do the same again. That means Forrest could be battling not just for playing time, but for a roster spot. Let's circle back to Cole Bishop and talk about what the Bills saw when they drafted him. This is a physical, explosive safety who can come downhill in the run game and still cover ground in zone. He's athletic, instinctual, and most importantly, has the kind of mental toughness McDermott loves in young defenders. During his brief time on the field last year, Bishop showed flashes, including 3 starts late in the season when Hamlin was sidelined. He didn't light up the stat sheet, but he looked confident, decisive, and ready to learn. We've seen this story before. McDermott is notoriously cautious about giving rookies starting jobs. He believes in mentorship, progression, and earning your stripes. Look at how long it took guys like Christian Benford and Terrell Bernard to truly secure their roles. So don't be surprised if Bishop starts the year splitting time or even backing up Hamlin again. But make no mistake, the plan is for him to take over sooner rather than later. This Bills team is built for a deep playoff run, but you don't get there on stars alone. You need glue guys, depth, experience, smart contracts, veterans who still want to fight. And that's what we're seeing right now. Shaq Thompson fighting for his career. Young core players locked in at value, a front office that's still one step ahead of the market if training camp goes how we think it will. This team's going to be scary good come September. All right, Bills Mafia, what do you think? Do you like the Shaq Thompson signing? Can he make an impact behind Milano and Bernard? And what's your confidence level in Beane's offseason moves? Drop a comment below and let us know. We read every single one, and shoutouts are coming in the next video. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you're always first to know when news breaks. We'll see you next time right here on Buffalo Beat News. Let's go Buffalo!